as one Harvard professor is raising the theory this may actually be a piece of alien technology.
Something is moving through our solar system, and it's breaking all the rules. The object, 3I Atlas, is not behaving like a typical comet or asteroid. It's moving with an unnatural trajectory that has caught the attention of Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb.
You now say this is not only an alien spaceship, but it's nuclear powered? Why are you saying that?
He's the scientist who famously studied the interstellar object Oumuamua and suggested it was alien tech. Now he's raising an even more urgent alarm about 3I Atlas. He warns that if he's right about this new visitor, humanity is staring at a reality it simply isn't equipped to handle. The anomaly in our skies. Something truly strange is happening in the dark void of space, and one of the world's top astronomers is sounding the alarm. You see, this isn't about a galaxy millions of light years away. This is about something in our own backyard, a visitor that is making scientists very nervous. His name is Avi Loeb, a professor from Harvard University, and he has a reputation for looking at the stars and seeing things that others miss or perhaps choose to ignore. Recently, he issued a chilling warning about an object named 3I Atlas. He said, to put it mildly, that if this thing is what he thinks it is, we are nowhere near ready. This isn't a guess, it's a conclusion based on some very bizarre data. Discovered by the Atlas Survey in Hawaii, this object was initially classified as a comet. It started behaving in ways that comets just don't. It began to fragment and break apart without the usual telltale signs of a cometary outburst. Comets are essentially dirty snowballs. When they get close to the sun, the ice turns to gas, creating a bright tail. 3I Atlas, however, disintegrated with a whimper, not a bang. What many overlooked is that its trajectory was also a bit off. It followed a path that suggested it came from far beyond our solar system, making it only the third interstellar object ever detected. The first was the infamous Oumuamua, a cigar-shaped enigma that tumbled through our system back in 2017. The second was a more conventional comet named Borisov. But 3I Atlas is different. Avi Loeb looked at the data and saw something familiar, something that reminded him of the Oumuamua mystery. He proposed a startling theory. What if 3I Atlas isn't a comet at all? What if it's a piece of advanced extraterrestrial technology? Loeb's idea is that this object could be a type of alien probe, or even just a piece of debris from a much larger craft. Many people are crazy about this idea, and for good reason. It's a concept straight out of science fiction, but it's coming from a man at the very top of his field. He's not some fringe conspiracy theorist. He's a respected academic from one of the most prestigious universities on the planet. His argument hinges on the object's strange properties. It was unusually thin, perhaps less than a millimeter thick, yet incredibly durable to have survived a journey across interstellar space. Its disintegration was gentle, more like a piece of machinery falling apart than a celestial body exploding. It's these subtle but crucial details that have led Loeb to his terrifying conclusion. He warns that we are so fixated on finding radio signals from aliens that we're completely missing the possibility that their artifacts are already here floating right past us. Loeb has suggested it could be a solar sail, a super thin sheet designed to be pushed by the light from stars. This would explain its weird acceleration and its fragility. A solar sail could travel for millions of years between stars, propelled by nothing more than starlight. If it's a sail, who built it? And what was its purpose? Was it a probe sent to study our solar system? Or is it just a piece of cosmic trash, the equivalent of a plastic bag floating in the ocean? Either possibility is a game changer for humanity. It would mean we are not alone. We are, in his words, not ready to confront the reality that we might not be the smartest kids on the block. We search for life on Mars and the moons of Jupiter, but maybe the proof has already come to us. What if this isn't the first warning we've ignored? Echoes of a visitor. To truly understand Avi Loeb's urgent warning about 3I Atlas, we have to turn back the clock to 2017. This was the year that something passed through our solar system that baffled scientists and rewrite the rules of what was possible. It was named Oumuamua. It was the very first interstellar object ever detected by humans, a visitor from another star system. But not all things are what they seem, and Oumuamua was weirder than anyone could have imagined. Based on how it reflected sunlight, astronomers astronomers concluded it was extremely elongated, perhaps 10 times longer than it was wide. Asteroids and comets are typically lumpy and potato-shaped. This object was sleek and, for lack of a better word, artificial-looking. Then there was its movement. As Oumuamua swung past the sun, it accelerated away in a way that couldn't be explained by gravity alone. It was as if something was giving it a gentle, mysterious push. The go-to explanation for this kind of push is something called outgassing, where a comet releases gas that acts like a tiny rocket engine. But here's the catch. Astronomers looked for a gas tail, anything to suggest outgassing, and they found nothing. The object was speeding up without any visible means of propulsion. This is where Avi Loeb entered the story and became a controversial figure. While most of the scientific community tried to find a natural explanation, no matter how far-fetched, like a nitrogen iceberg or a hydrogen comet, Loeb proposed a simpler, more dramatic idea. He suggested Oumuamua was an alien artifact. He argued that the object's strange acceleration could be perfectly explained if it were a solar sail, a thin piece of material pushed by the sun's radiation. It would be a technology intentionally designed to travel between stars. This theory, while sensational, elegantly explained all of the object's bizarre characteristics: its weird shape, its unnatural acceleration, and its lack of a cometary tail. The scientific establishment, to put it mildly, did not like this one bit. They accused him of jumping to conclusions and seeking attention. But Loeb stood his ground, arguing that science must be open to all possibilities, especially when the evidence is so strange. He believes that the resistance to his idea is a form of human arrogance, a refusal to accept that we might not be special. This whole saga with Oumuamua is the critical context for his warning about 3I Atlas. He saw an object with unexplainable characteristics, he proposed an extraordinary explanation, and he was shut down. Now with 3I Atlas, he sees another object that doesn't fit the mold, another piece of evidence that something is going on that we don't understand. Just a rock. While Avi Loeb's ideas about 3I Atlas and Oumuamua are compelling, it's important to remember that he is largely a lone voice in a sea of scientific skepticism. The vast majority of astronomers and astrophysicists believe there are perfectly natural, if not yet fully understood, explanations for these interstellar mysteries. You see, the mainstream view is that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and for most scientists, the evidence for alien technology simply isn't there. They argue that invoking aliens is a lazy explanation, a way of giving up on the hard work of finding a natural cause. Let's start with Oumuamua. While its acceleration was strange, several theories have been put forward. One popular idea is the nitrogen iceberg theory. This suggests that Oumuamua could have been a chunk of frozen nitrogen chipped off a Pluto-like planet in another solar system. As it neared our sun, the nitrogen would have vaporized, providing the push, but it might not have been visible to our telescopes. Another theory is that it was a hydrogen iceberg, which would also explain the lack of a visible tail. What many overlooked is that these theories have their own problems, but they demonstrate a key principle of science. Try to explain things with known physics before jumping to aliens. When it comes to 3I Atlas, the skepticism is even stronger. Its fragmentation, they say, might have been unusual, but we've seen comets break apart in weird ways before. Comet Shoemaker Levy 9, for example, broke into more than 20 pieces before smashing into Jupiter in 1994. The fact that 3I Atlas didn't have a huge, bright outburst doesn't automatically mean it's an alien spaceship. It could just mean it was made of different materials than the comets we're used to, or that it broke apart for structural reasons we haven't modeled yet. Critics of Loeb say that he's suffering from a classic case of confirmation bias. Because he became famous for his Oumuamua as alien tech theory, he is now predisposed to see alien technology everywhere he looks. Science is supposed to be a slow, cautious process. They worry that this kind of speculation coming from such a prominent figure damages the credibility of the entire field of astronomy and the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. The search for aliens, they insist, must be rigorous and evidence-based, not a series of press conferences about every weird rock that floats by. It's a battle between two different philosophies of science, the cautious, methodical approach versus the bold, imaginative leap. But what if both sides are missing the point entirely? What it all means. Let's step back from the debate for a moment and consider the biggest question of all. What if Avi Loeb is right? What would it actually mean if 3I Atlas and Oumuamua were pieces of alien technology? It's not just about finding life, it's about what happens next. This would instantly solve the Fermi paradox, the great mystery of why, in a universe with billions of galaxies and trillions of stars, we haven't found any evidence of other intelligent life. The paradox is often called the Great Silence. But if Loeb is correct, the silence has been broken. The The evidence isn't in a radio signal, it's physically floating through our solar system. The aliens aren't talking to us, they are either studying us or simply ignoring us. They're cosmic litter drifting by for us to find. This raises a disturbing possibility. If their technology is so advanced that it can cross the vast emptiness between stars, and if we can only barely detect its fragments, then the power imbalance between our civilizations would be immense. This is what Loeb means when he says we're not ready. He's not just talking about a lack of defense plans against an alien invasion, he's talking about a psychological and societal unpreparedness. Our religions, our philosophies, and our science are all built on the idea that we are unique and special. The confirmation of a superior intelligence out there could shatter those foundations overnight. Would it lead to panic, or would it unite humanity in a common purpose? Many people are crazy about the idea of unity, but history suggests that contact between vastly different cultures often doesn't end well for the less advanced one. It also forces us to ask why they haven't made open contact. Are we being observed like animals in a zoo? Are we simply uninteresting to them? Or the most chilling possibility of all, are they long gone and all we are seeing is the wreckage of a dead civilization? Loeb's warning is a call for humility. He wants to set up a dedicated project, the Galileo Project, to scan the skies for objects like Oumuamua and Three-Eye Atlas and to get a close-up look if we find one. The real risk isn't that we'll look for aliens and find nothing. Is it more terrifying to think we are alone in the universe or to think that we aren't? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more cosmic mysteries.